Today we're talking about anxiety and stress and the physical symptoms that this can cause in our fight or flight response. Now, this is a very important subject for us to be talking about today because stress is everywhere. Our lives are so stressful. We live in such a fast-paced world, and we all struggle with this feeling of stress that just runs through our body, and it has so many physical symptoms. And this is very serious because stress is one of the worst things for your body. It is so bad. It causes so many diseases if it is left untreated and we just let stress take over. So it's very, very important that we learn how to control this stress, learn how to control this anxiety, and get it out of our bodies so we can feel so much better and live healthy, happy lives. Now, these physical symptoms can just impact your life so negatively and just take away from our happiness and being present. It could really put a damper on life, and I think you're here because that's what you're experiencing right now. So let's look at these, see if you can relate to any of these. Rapid heartbeat, shortness of breath, dizziness, sweating, trembling, muscle tensions, problems with sleep, which I have talked about in my last video, so go check that out, ways to help you sleep better. If these symptoms turn chronic, they can lead to long-term physical and medical issues. So that's why it's so important to get help if you are experiencing these types of things. So let's review some of the things that could happen. First is heart problems, more risk for heart attacks, high blood pressure, heart diseases, so that's not good. Next is gastrointestinal issues, so difficulty digestion, IBS, leaky gut syndrome, weakened immune system, so that could lead to your chances of getting illnesses and getting sick. It's very important to have a strong immune system. Respiratory issues, because if you're having the shortness of breath, you're not using your full lung capacity. We usually don't use our full lung capacity anyways, but that's a whole nother subject. Sleep disorders, other mental conditions. Anxiety is associated with other mental health conditions, strongly connected to depression. If you're always in this fight or flight state, we can't always be in it 24/7, so sometimes you switch off to freeze, and that kind of looks like depression. It's called dissociation in some ways. It's just being totally disconnected, totally zoned out, and emotionally exhausted. Substance abuse issues. This can be a big problem because you're drinking or whatever you're doing to try and cope and self-medicate with your anxiety, and then you become reliant on it, or a lot of times it actually makes the anxiety worse. Quality of life is just diminished overall, impacting your relationships, your work, and just your overall happiness. You're not able to be present when you're dealing with this type of anxiety to this level. When you're living like this, your anxiety is in control of you, and it's time for you to get control of it. There is a solution. And so this is the part where we could get a little hopeful. I know it's been a little bit of a downer of a video so far, but I just wanted to stress the seriousness of these issues. I'm all about holistic healing and yoga and therapy. The way that I focus on is healing the nervous system. And you're living with a compromised nervous system. So these types of things that I'm going to focus on is going to help restore that nervous system to its rightful state. Kind of an underlying reason that you could also be experiencing these physical symptoms is something that people don't talk about a lot, but something that I've really noticed in working with my clients. It is because of trapped emotions. Whether it's trapped emotions from childhood or from a relationship, or issues with your parents, or trauma, whatever you've been through, a lot of times it's because of these trapped emotions that our body is having these reactions. And so that can be really hard to release those on your own, and that's a big focus that I have in my program, is learning how to release these trapped emotions so they don't have control of you any longer. I'm going to give you some other little tips that you can use for right now to at least try and help get this anxiety and these physical symptoms under control, because they're just not fun. That's what I have struggled with, is these physical symptoms, and I feel so much better, so I want to help you do that as well. So the first is deep breathing. Deep breathing, I'll always talk about this if you continue to watch my videos, because it is just really important to regulate your nervous system through regulating your breathing, and that helps regulate your emotions. It just helps really calm you down. You have to be a conscious thing, as I talked about last time. Next, progressive muscle relaxation is also really good. You can just focus on each body part and then relax it, or what I like to do is tense it and then relax. Grounding techniques are my favorite. I'll always talk about these. So this is using your 5 senses. So you are paying attention to what you can see, what you can hear, what you can feel, all those things all at the same time. Even just saying those things out loud, saying the colors, getting the wind on your face. It's great to do it outside for practice. You got to practice it when you're not in such stress, so that when you are in stress, you're able to utilize it. Because it's harder, the more in stress you are, the harder it is to implement. So you want to try to implement them before you let the stress get out of control. So it's also important to identify where your stress levels are at all times. And just practicing on a daily basis can also be preventative as well. Mindful movement. So obviously yoga is mindful movement, but you can do other things as well. A mindfulness walk, noticing what's around you, noticing, your feet on the ground. And yeah, yoga helps release those trapped emotions that I was talking about. If you're really focused on your breath, your movement, and you're out of your mind, you can feel release of emotions. I've had where I'm just in a yoga class and I just start crying out of nowhere. And it's a great feeling because I know that it's releasing something. Aromatherapy is also just great. I've talked about this before, but just breathing in that essential oil, if you put it on your wrist, having diffuser on all the time, and just noticing the smell. All these things are being very conscious of what's in your present moment. So noticing the smell is part of the grounding, like I was talking about. Cold water. Now this is a great one. Taking cold showers really helps to regulate the nervous system, bring you down. If you can't get in the shower, splashing your face with cold water, an ice cube on the neck, any of those things really helps bring those stress levels down. Mindfulness meditation. Now, mindfulness could have its full own video. It's also a big part of my program because we have to be mindful of our mind. But what mindfulness means is being present all the time, noticing something without judging it, and just letting it be for what it is. So you just see a person and you just see what they look like. There's no judgments of like, oh, that person's pretty, or that person's got an ugly sweater on, or oh, they got an ugly dog, or like, oh, their kid's out of control. No, you just look, you see, and you keep going. So if you can learn to do these with your thoughts, just let a thought come in and then let it go. Instead of having a thought and having a thought about the thought and then another thought, and then now you're spiraling out of control when you just needed to have the one thought and just let it go. Positive visualization. So in any moment you can close your eyes and envision a beautiful scene. Envision a safe place. Feel what it's like to be in that place. And breathe and just feel what it's like. Is it windy there? Is it cool? What's the temperature? And just taking yourself away from the situation that you're in and just transporting yourself somewhere else. Again, takes practice, but if you can learn to do this, slowly but surely, you'll notice a difference. So I hope that those tips really help you. They help me and they help my clients all the time. Again, sorry for kind of the downer part of the beginning of the video, but I only do that because it's really important that you do take your mental health seriously, because it's really serious. And so many people I see just struggling with this stress and anxiety, but not doing anything about it. And I just hate to see people live like that, because there is hope on the other side. I've been there. I used to experience a lot of these symptoms all the time. Rapid heartbeat is like my main one that I've always struggled with, and it's so hard to just feel calm and feel okay when your heart is racing like that. And for me, it really was trapped emotions, and learning how to let go of those just really changed my life, and that was through my yoga healing journey, and I want to help you do that as well. So if you would like to talk more with me about it, look at the link below. We could always talk about your anxiety and how I can help. Comment, on the video, anything that you'd like me to make a video about. I'm here for you guys. I want to speak directly to you with anything that you're struggling with. I really want to be there for you. Like the video, share it. Anything that you would like to do is just wonderful. I also have a private Facebook group that you could be part of, strong women just coming together to stop their anxiety. It's so great. Thanks for watching this video, and I will be back soon. I'll talk to you later. Bye.